Hello guys! Today we are doing a grocery audit for Nancy, and I was totally shocked when I found out they were eating out $200 a week eating out, and now they spend $17 for each her and her husband per week on groceries now, following our tips. And I was so excited. Nancy has been a faithful viewer. We love you, Nancy. And so she has always been a really faithful prayer warrior for us, and we really appreciate her sending in her footage, because I think it's very encouraging for all of you guys who are hollering about mom not eating enough vegetables. You can't do it. Nancy is doing it for even less than mom, and she has a whole bunch of vegetables. So let's get in here and we're going to show what she buys.
And it really looks yummy too.
Yes.
Hello, Tara. So this is my grocery haul for today, September the 23rd. Now those tomatoes back there, a friend gave them to me. So there's no charge for them.
All right, guys, it is time to vote. Do it. Type 1 if you accept free produce. Type 2 if nobody ever gives you produce or you don't accept it. I accept anything anybody gives me, and I use it because it's free. You can't get better than free. And right now, you guys are going to see later at the end of the video, I'm doing my tomato harvest, and I'm going to be giving tomatoes to anybody who will take them, because I'm going to have like 25 boxes of tomatoes. So I'm going to give them to a lot of my friends.
And I always accept them too, because even if it's something I maybe can't use, I will share it with Tara or friends or neighbors or something.
Yeah. Okay. It looks like everybody is accepting them. That is great. I am so glad you guys are doing that. All right, here we go.
Yams were 99 cents a pound.
Okay, we weren't recording my introduction, but I wanted to show this tip on how to save money on sweet potatoes when they are on sale. Sweet potato season is coming up. This is how you can buy them cheap and save them for later. I put them in the oven at 425 degrees. I didn't put anything on them, but if you want to, you can put sea salt on them. And then I bake them for about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on how big your sweet potatoes are. You can cut them in half if you want to cook them quicker. To test if they're done, take a knife, stick it in the center. Nope, they are not done. So I need to let them cook probably another half an hour. All right, let's go test now. Right. Ooh, that one could probably go for just a minute more. That one's done. And ooh, that one's done. Okay, so this one needs probably about 10 more minutes. So I'm just gonna leave them all in, and then we will show you the mashed sweet potatoes. Okay, I absolutely love sweet potatoes, so I had to break one out for my lunch. Now they are baked, and look, I had one for lunch because it was just too good. So what I do is I scrape out, I usually do about a half a sweet potato, because that's about what I eat for each meal, and just scrape it all out. And then I flatten it so that they lay in the freezer nice, get all the air out, and then I just stack them up. Now, if you have little containers like this, I have my bean dip in, but if you have little containers like this, you could put 1 servings in this also. Then I just freeze this and pull 1 out for each person that I'm serving. So I get sweet potatoes when they're super cheap and can eat them for several months. They last like 6 to 9 months in the freezer. And then I can have sweet potato all year.
The apples were 2.49 cents a pound, but they're not really that great, so we didn't get too many.
Okay, so you guys may be wondering, why do I have the price in US dollars? Because she is Canadian, and I forgot to mention that. And so they live in Canada. I forget where they said they live in Canada, because I know some places in Canada are more expensive than other places in Canada, just like the United States. That's typical, I think, in all of everywhere. Let's see if it said, well, I lost where it is, but anyway, she lives in Canada, so that's why you're seeing me translate the prices to American dollars. And let me tell you, Canadians, your grocery prices aren't as bad as you're complaining about. And Nancy is proof of that. She is proof of that. So the $17 a week for each her and her husband is the US price, because most of our viewers are US, so I translated it for that. Or not translate it. What's the word, Mike? Converted it for that.
And that's one thing too. She's good proof. We always say not the prices. Stop worrying about the prices where you're at because they're more or less. It's about the tips that we give you to do. And she's perfect example that she used the tips and not worried about the prices. And you can do it any place in the world. So, you know, kind of get the prices out of your head a little bit.
And Teresa wants to know, can you boil them and freeze them? Yes. You can boil them if you want. I just prefer them baked, but if you like them boiled, then go for it. It's totally fine.
The Bassa was $6.99 for a 400 gram bag.
Now, here's the thing. In the US, so it's $4 approximately for fish. Here in the United States, she's paying $5 and some change. That is on the high side for meat, but she is spending $17 a week. I'm not gonna, I mean, if she wants, she can cut out the fish and get some cheaper meat. But frankly, I have no problem with as low as her grocery bill. If they want fish instead, I'm perfectly fine with that. She could probably shave another $5 or $10 off her grocery bill a month if she wants to. But really, I mean, she's doing so good.
There's just a point where you can, you know.
I mean, you can only save so much. So
the grapes were $2.99 a pound, and this is
okay. Now that is super expensive. $2.19 a pound. We don't, well, I haven't seen them for 99 cents a pound this year yet. Last year they were still 99 cents. So it'll be interesting to see in the next couple of months if they go down to 99 cents again. But I would say $1.29 to $1.49 a pound would be good now. So that's on the higher side, but it's not really necessary. Now, Mom had a point about the grapes that she wanted to make because she did say, I don't really need them.
I can't remember what I said.
No. And Mom said, just because fruits and vegetables are on sale or you can get them, it doesn't mean that you should just necessarily be buying them. Make sure you actually need them and will eat them all.
You need to watch, because if one time bananas, strawberries, cantaloupe, watermelon were all on sale. Well, if I bought all 4 of those, they would spoil before I could get all that eaten. So, you know, even though they're on sale doesn't mean you should always just automatically buy them. You got to make sure you're going to be able to eat them throughout the week. And if bananas are on sale, you know, make sure you only get enough that you can eat or freeze if you have room for them, you know, or whatever. So don't, just because something's on sale, you can't always just buy all of that.
Yeah. I mean, you know, that's one of the big things that people just buy and they don't realize how much they are spending, and then they just throw it away and they don't ever eat it. It's like
throwing it away. Yeah.
So, okay. Next is her hamburger, ground beef.
Lean ground beef and pork. So, I'll have to look at the bill. I'm sorry. Oh, there it is, $13.74.
Okay, so I was very interested in this. Guys, please type in yes or no. Do you mix your ground beef and sausage? I have never, ever done this, ever. I've never mixed my ground beef and sausage, but it's a great way to save money.
Not together, but I use it in the same recipe. Like if I make chili, I use sausage and ground beef in there.
Well, that's mixing it
together. Is that mixing it? Well, then I mix it.
But I didn't know you could buy it. She buys hers already pre-mixed.
Oh, already pre-mixed? Do they even have such a thing here in the States?
Well, apparently in Canada they do. I've never seen it here in the United States. Maybe they do. I don't know. Have you guys seen that here in the United States? Yeah, everybody does. They do mix it. I have never done that.
But I've never seen it mixed together. But I love the flavor because the sausage adds kind of like a smoky, especially if you get hickory smoked or something sausage.
Carol says, yeah, you can buy it here.
To chili. Yeah, I love it in
Ellen
chili.
Says for meatloaf. And Mike says they used to do it a lot in Texas. This is something new. I mean, I've heard people like occasionally mixing it, but never. Since I've been doing these grocery audits, like almost every single person has mixed hamburger and ground beef. I was totally shocked.
You mean sausage and?
Ground beef. I was totally shocked. So anyway, all right. Looks like you guys do that.
The cheddar cheese was $5.99. Cheddar cheese was $5.99 for 400 grams. The celery.
All right. So that is a decent price for the cheddar cheese. I think she could probably do a little bit better, but that's not awful. Now, celery, $2.19 for celery is actually pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Stock. The cauliflower was $3.99. The carrots.
So $2.92 for cauliflower here in the US is actually about right, I would say.
We're $2.49 for a bag of 3 pounds, 3-pound bag. The Ritz.
So she got her carrots for 85 cents a pound. I have not seen that price in the United States for at least a year now. So that's actually really good.
And this is something we always say too, is some places, some things are cheaper and things are more expensive. We say this all the time. So you buy what's the less, you know, in your area. And this just goes to show they have some things that are less expensive, but you have some things that are a little bit more. And that's the way it is all over. And it all balances out is what I'm trying to say. You know, so don't panic because a certain item is more where you live and not someplace else. You have other things that are cheaper. So it just kind of comes out even.
Yeah, it just kind of depends on what foods are in your area that are cheaper. And then what's funny is not necessarily living in Idaho means your potatoes are cheaper. We learned that the hard way.
That's why we say use our tips and not the prices all the time.
Yeah. Okay, next we have her Ritz crackers.
We're $2.49, and the no-name salt.
That's a good price.
Oh, I'll have to look and see what they were on the list. So actually, I didn't even have to really buy hardly any groceries. I didn't even need the grapes because I still have some. I did need the saltine. I like to stay stocked up with the veggies. We did need the cheese, but so that's what I got today.
All right, guys, we need your help reaching 400,000 subscribers. Would you hit that subscribe button, the thumbs up, and the bell to be notified
This is my
of new
closet
videos?
pantry. There's Kleenex back in there. Back in there, there's a paper towel, which I hardly ever use, the toilet paper. In the blue bag is my bread, flour. Then I like to use these box mashed potatoes. They were on 2 boxes for $4. And then the cake, I think they were $2.50 each, 2 for $5.
Here's a little tip. You do not have to cook the entire cake mix if you are just 1 or 2 people. Here's how you make a mud cake. Just open up your cake mix. I've got red velvet. And you're going to put 6 tablespoons in your mug. Whoops. This is 1/4 cup, so that's 1 1/2 of these is 6 tablespoons. Ooh, and I just made a really, really big mess. I did not mean to do that. Okay, and then 2 teaspoons of oil, 4 tablespoons or 1/4 cup of water, just like so. And we're gonna stir that all up. I'm smashing all the lumps. Okay. Oops, I forgot to spray it. Oops, you might want to spray your mug. Okay, put it in the microwave. We're gonna put it in the microwave for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Okay, you can see your mud cake right here. Now, I would let it cool and then frost it, but perfect mug cake. Oh, yum. And that look delicious.
And then I had these already, the Brisk iced tea. They're $1 for a bottle. I'm not sure how much. I think the honey, I already had it, but I think it was, I don't know, $5. Then some candy for the church kids. And then the potatoes here in a can. The white potatoes now, they're cheaper at our No Frills store. At Walmart, they're $1.99. At No Frills, it's $1.49. Then I've got some pop in here, some chips, and then our stuff from the pharmacy. So that's what I have in my bedroom closet.
All right, guys, is it time to vote? Do you have a stockpile in your closet? I am curious to know how many people have a stockpile in their closet. Mom, that's where she uses her stockpile. You can go check our videos. Just do a search and let's see, Jill's stockpile, I think. Just type in pantry or stockpile. I can't remember what we named it. But Mom keeps hers in a spare closet. I think a closet is a great idea. I would, for Nancy, I would just put a shelf in there. It looks like you have room to put more stuff in there. Although we saw she had more storage space even in another place. So I don't know that you necessarily need to do that, but if you want to. Now, Donna says, are you saying she got all the groceries on the counter for $17? No, I'm saying she spends $17 a week for her, and then $17 a week for her husband is how much she spends. So $34, is that right? $34 a week for 2 people. for all of their groceries is what she's spending. And she has been watching us for a couple of years now. And she used to spend $200 a week eating out for just her and her husband. That's a boatload of money. So I'm really proud of her.
I know. I love hearing stories like hers because it's good.
Now, this next part is very interesting because we don't do this in the United States. Did you know in Canada, the milk comes in bags? Very strange. I did not know this. I did not know this.
This is my fridge, so I keep my milk in the freezer, and so taking it out to thaw it, and I think that was $4.68 on special for a bag of 3 bags.
Okay, so let's camp here for just a second. Yes, you can freeze milk. We freeze it all the time. It is a great way to save money. The only thing is sometimes it will separate. The cream will separate from the milk. You can do one of 2 things. You can pull the cream off and use it as cream, and then you'll have skim milk, or you can just shake it up really well, and then you'll have full fat milk again. It happens with the full fat milk worse than the skim milk for obvious reasons because there's more fat. But apparently what they do is they just put their bags in the freezer, which I think is great because it takes up less space. And then they just pull a bag out, defrost it, and put it in a jug. Now, $3.43 for a gallon of milk. That's average here. I mean, we can get it for $2, but from what everybody's been saying in Canada, I think that's a perfectly fine price. I have no problem with that price. It's not outrageous by any means.
So here's my fridge. Up at the top, I just have that brisk lemonade, and then behind it the iced tea, and then I've got some coating for fish, and then back in there jam, sour cream. I like to use sour cream in my pancake mix. Then there's some lemon sauce to put on chicken, and some pasta sauce here left over, and some of those chocolate pudding. Yeah, hold on, I'm trying to get back in here. And then red chili pepper sauce, and then icing, some cheese. We eat a lot of cheese, and then cucumber, eggs back in there, and get this out of the way. And then, sorry, my husband likes these pepperettes. I make my own bread, but I use a bread machine. And there's some cake crumbs back in there with a cake that we have with ice cream for dessert. The Beckel now, I saw where you add water and make it into like a whipped. That has saved me so much. I get double the amount of that since I've been doing it that way, adding water and then really whipping up good. There's chicken.
Okay, so Beckel. I was like, what in the world is Beckel? So apparently it's just margarine.
Oh,
Is apparently what it is. So that's good. Yes, if you saw in one of our other grocery audit videos. And our Dining on a Dime cookbook, volume 1, 25% off right now. The link is in the description below. Whipped margarine or butter, if you just add cold water to your margarine and butter and whip it up with the mixer, you will be able to save a lot of money on margarine because you can make your own spreadable margarine. And so it cuts the price down a lot.
And it's better for that because to do the soft margarine or butter, either one, because it spreads easier and you won't use as much. So it saves in calories and it saves in using too much.
And you can use milk or water, whichever one you prefer.
In this aluminum foil for the rotisserie chicken, which I'll make soup with it. I'll have chicken pot pie. We'll have mashed potatoes and gravy and chicken. I do a lot with that. And then some little potatoes that I'll cut up and saute, maybe for breakfast tomorrow morning or make a...
Okay, so I think that's great. She's using all of her leftovers. That's really good. They're not throwing them out.
Doing everything really good.
Doing really good.
Stew out of them, then carrots. And then some tangerines. And you see here, 2 oranges, which are a treat because they're about $1 each.
Okay, so that actually 75 cents in the US, that's actually what oranges run now. So that's actually a good deal. That's not overpriced for US prices.
At the store, we like to get that. And then there's the onions there, where I keep the onions, and some, we keep a little pop in there. And then I have here mustard, pickles, Worcestershire sauce, ketchup, and then the soy sauce. Now with the bottled water, we have a few here. We've stopped getting it because we have a spout here that we can get our own water from. Oh, and did you see the cottage cheese? Okay, the spout we get our water from, it's delicious. And we have a filter up there in our fridge for the water.
So good for her. They cut out the bottled water. Guys, bottled water is the most ridiculous thing I have seen in the last 20 years. It's like, I don't know. Even now, I still cannot hardly buy bottled water.
It's my pet peeve too.
It's a huge waste of money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, back over here. There's, I put these sauce on for dessert, ice cream, mayo back in there. And we very rarely have salads, honestly. We don't use much salad dressing at all. Then over here, I like these, this Italian pop there, and then the baking soda, baking powder for my pancakes once a week. The panko I very rarely use. And the Parmesan I use quite a bit on our pasta. And these right here, I just put them in a salad. I really don't put tomatoes or anything in a salad. And these capons I use for the tuna fish sandwiches. My water, more chicken stock, and we keep coffee in here, leftover coffee. And
okay, I will say she is a true tightwad if she saves her coffee.
She's doing good.
That is impressive. I am impressed. As a matter of fact, in one of the videos coming up, we were talking about the Keurigs in the last video. And well, go ahead and read them your numbers real quick, because even though Nancy doesn't have a Keurig, and we're actually going to put this in the next person who has a Keurig in their perhaps, I'm going to show how to make coffee, because listen to these prices.
Okay, just using Folgers that I get on sale.
And that's Folgers. That's not even the Walmart brand.
Yeah. Okay. For me, my Folgers is 90 cents for, I'm just doing 1 cup of coffee a day is what I'm basing this on. So you can multiply it if you do more than 1 cup. But anyway, for 1 month is 90 cents is what I spend on coffee. If you use the little pods, then it's $18.30 compared to 90 cents. But then I went on to figure if you have 2 people that you do 2 cups of coffee for 1 month, mine would be $3.60 and the pods would be, now listen to this, $3.60 for mine compared to $73.20. I want that to sink in. And I took just a medium price coffee for the pods. I didn't take the, the specialty, all the special flavored ones, the special type things. That's $3.60 compared to $73.20. That is a monster chunk.
Sorry, guys,
you could
that's
save
ridiculous.
Almost $70 on your coffee by just buying Folgers. And so, and that's even more for some people that do the more specialty like the.
So let's just round up because we know they're spending more than that. But we'll just say 1 cup of Keurig or 2 cups of Keurig for a day times 12. That is almost $1,000, $960 on the stupid Keurig.
For a year.
I'm sorry, for a year, $1,000.
And that doesn't even include paying the expensive money to buy the pot or the coffee pot thing, And I want you to think about it because I've had both. I've had that and Folgers, and I'm not a coffee snob. Maybe that's part of my problem, and because I can't tell any difference really, So I was just curious, and it's $70, about $70 a month more. So I thought you'd find that interesting.
Nancy, you have received, I should have printed up an award. You have received the tightwad status for saving your leftover coffee even. So I think that's great. Guys, these tips are in our Dining on a Dime cookbooks, 25% off right now. Volume 1 and Volume 2 go together, but they're totally separate recipes. Just couldn't fit all of these recipes in this 600-page book. 1,200 recipes and tips in Volume 1, 800 recipes and tips in Volume 2. And then if you are gluten-free, dairy-free, check out our gluten-free, dairy-free edition. I eat gluten-free, dairy-free, and our grocery bill has not gone up at all. So you can make delicious food that doesn't taste like sand. I know, I've been there. I've been gluten-free for over 10 years. I totally get it. So, all right. Emily says we need to have Tara's Tightwad Award. Yes. We're going to start doing that.
Oh,
yes.
We get so proud of you guys when you do this. It's so exciting. So
that's pretty funny. Oh my goodness. I love it. Okay. Here we go.
Our pancakes are up. Then for the fridge, here we have the fridge here. So back in here, I have, like I say, the Beccal, and I used to buy it more often. I only buy it when it's special. I only buy things when they're in special pretty well. Back in there, I do have a couple of treats of chocolate muffins. Here I have some flatbread, and here I have some sauteed onions and almonds, and then this is corn. This is corn down in here that I cooked, and I just like to pull it out and have that with the meal. That helps out a lot. Garlic, and then I have creamed corn that I have for shepherd's pie, just a little bit of dessert, and then I try and have potatoes cooked up and baked and have them on stand. My milk that I keep in the freezer.
So I think that's great. She's got her own freezer meals already started. I don't make, no offense to my friend Kimmy, she's in her apron. She's the freezer meal queen, but, and you keep doing that, girl. We've discussed this, but I don't make a full meal. I make pieces of meals. So like those baked potatoes, I would just warm them up, add crumbled bacon, crumbled ham, and some cheese, and you've got a full meal. Chicken, I'll just cook the whole 5 pounds of chicken as I'm cooking the first night, and then the next 3 or 4 nights, we will be eating chicken in various forms: green chili, tacos, you know, stroganoff, however you want it, chicken pot pie, however you want to eat it. But I pre-cook in different ingredients, or the different ingredients, so that dinner's already started and I don't have to do the whole thing.
And another thing, by doing it in the piecemeal like that, she can adapt what she's got in the freezer with maybe on sale that week. If you lock it into like one casserole or something all the time, it's not as adjustable. Where if she doesn't feel like cooking this or that, how do I want to explain it? She can use things that she has on hand to go with the pieces that she has in the freezer, you know, and that type of thing, and work around what she's got frozen in there instead of being locked into one type of meal. But did you notice she had things labeled? It was neat and orderly. She knew what she had in there. I think that is the biggest thing of everything that most people, I know I did years ago, have trouble with, is you can't see what's in there. You don't know what you have in there. And maybe once a month you'll go through it and you'll think, oh dear, I forgot I had this in here or whatever. So she does so good at keeping hers marked and in a neat order where she can see pretty much at a glance almost what she has in there. And I think that's the best part of this whole thing almost, you know. Okay,
so speaking of leftovers, everybody's talking about the coffee in the fridge. Okay, type 1, if you save your coffee.
I do.
Type 2, if you do not and you just throw it away. I'm curious which direction our viewers go on this. So type 1, if you save it, and type 2, if you throw it away. Teresa saves it. Deborah saves it. Oh, Gina does not save it.
Poor Gina.
Angela does not either.
At least you guys are being honest. That's brave of you.
Wow. Oh, and Vicky. Oh, wow. Although see, Lori's even better. She doesn't even drink coffee. A lot of people don't.
Way to go.
Oh, and then Marcy and Christine go even further and they compost their coffee grounds.
Yes,
you
I
do
too.
And you can do the coffee filters too, if you guys didn't know that. I don't know if you knew that. So, okay.
I like these little mini slider rolls once in a while for a change in having bread for a sandwich. Then breakfast sausage and bacon that I keep cooked up, and extra chicken stock there. Then down in here, I get a lot of carrots right now, so I've been blanching them and freezing them. And then there's my vegetables, spinach down in there, and milk. I got these Pillar Tuscan style salami pepperettes on half price. So I stocked up on those.
Good job.
And then made some macaroni and cheese for today. Didn't need it all, so put it in there. Tomato sauce. Spaghetti sauce. I'm sorry, I'm not doing a very good job. This is the cooked Italian mild and hot mixed sausage for my pasta. Sorry for the mess here. And then I've made a meatloaf, so it's here to pull out. And then I have vegetables here. green bean, or peas, those are peas, pasta sauce, and these are 2 cooked burgers that I have on hand.
She's doing really good, guys.
Pasta sauce, tomato sauce, I guess, pasta sauce, some French fries. Then I buy my cheese and I grate it up. And then I've got some bacon down there and some bagels. And I've got the noodles that I cooked up, and I have them for when, I have beef stroganoff, ice cream, and some cauliflower that I cooked and have on hand. So this is my cupboard.
All right, so I think her freezer looks really good. She's doing a good job saving the leftovers, heating them up later for quick and easy meals. She said one of her biggest problems was liking to go eat after church. Now, she said that why they were wanting to cut down on their grocery bill was when her husband retired, they were literally dipping into their savings to buy food and eat out. Not good. So if you're dipping into your savings to be buying food and eating out, you got to cut that out right now. And Nancy cut it out. She's doing really good. But having those freezer meals after church is her biggest frustration, she said, and we're going to talk about that in just a little bit more. But that way you can at least have something on hand that you can just throw in the microwave and defrost.
With I just have back here, I have garlic and paprika and onion powder, salt, ham, sugar, honey, a few seasonings like bay leaves, basil, and parsley, and then vanilla for the pancakes, and there's Italian seasoning back in there, and some basil there. And then sugar was on special, so I bought extra of that. Oatmeal for every morning, cinnamon behind that, then more
so I think that's great, guys. She eats oatmeal every morning. One of the biggest problems with Americans is too much variety. And I think that by just Dr. Oz, I know he's America's doctor, so he must be right. But he said if you would eat the same, just 1 or 2 things, just have 1 or 2 choices for lunch and dinner, breakfast and lunch, and then have whatever you want for dinner, you would be able to maintain your weight more than having variety all the time. I think he's probably right.
I do the graham crackers. I've done those for years and years. I don't know if that's helps maintain weight, but it's easier.
Well, you're not fat, so there you go.
Salt, pepper, Italian seasoning. Those are the only seasonings I really use.
All right, guys, it's time to vote again. Let me know if you cook with only 6 spices, or let me know type 1 if you only cook with 6 spices, and type 2 if you cook with more than 6 spices. I am very curious to see how many spices you guys have, because I have more spices than Mom, just for recipe testing and stuff. But Mom only has, 4 or 5 spices that she uses on a regular basis. Oh, it looks like you guys are split. Oh, really interesting. Wow.
Can I say something on the spices? Or do you
No.
want me to wait? Am I allowed to speak?
Yes.
Can I speak now? One thing I was thinking about the spices, I was cooking some stuff today, and like Tara says, I use minimal amount of spices. And a couple of years back, I was having people come over and eat or taking dishes out, and they would say, "This is so good." Well, I didn't think it was that great of anything. It was just like a roast or a chicken that I just roasted, and put a little salt and pepper on, and that was it. And I couldn't figure out why they thought just a plain old roast or a plain old chicken tasted so good to them.
Did you actually put salt on it?
I did. I did put salt and pepper.
Most people don't salt stuff enough.
I salt
the problem.
everything, and I do for my meats use a lot of garlic and onion powder, but that's all I use. And so they were just going on and on. I thought, why is this so different from what they cook or whatever? And I'm finding out that they were tasting the actual meat or whatever dish that I was bringing. They were actually tasting the food itself. I don't think people realize that chicken can have a good flavor if you cook it right, and just add salt and pepper or whatever to it. Or roast tastes really yummy if it's cooked correctly. And I've noticed people just add tons and tons of sauces and spices to everything, and it masks the natural taste and flavor in these things. People never use that many spices. You know, everybody wants to cook like grandma or, you know, that type of thing. Grandma did not have 2 to 3 shelves full of spices. She just had the basic stuff. And that's why her cooking was so good, because you tasted the flavor of the food itself, the broccoli or the cauliflower. It didn't have a whole bunch of stuff on. And that'll save you money too, you know, not buying all the sauces and the expensive spices and stuff.
And if you guys need, there's talk about seasoned salt. Dining on a Dime cookbook, livingonadime.com. You can find our homemade seasoned salt in here. All it is salt, onion powder, garlic powder, and paprika. That's all it is, and pepper if you want. Livingonadime.com is where the recipe is, but we have spice mixes in both of our books, so that if you like the other spice mixes, like the Greek and Italian and pumpkin and all that, you can make it yourself for like 10 cents versus $2 to $5 for a bottle.
And I know a lot of people buy it in bulk and budget it, but you still are having to pay for extra, you know, for a whole bunch of spices. So, you know, try to cut back on some of those a little bit, and it'll make your life easier. You won't have to stress with seeing a mass of spices, a mass of sauces, trying to keep them organized, you know. All this stuff just adds more stress to your life. The more stuff you have, that's what happens.
Yeah. Lisa has a Canadian joke.
A Canadian joke.
I have to share it because it's pretty funny. How do you get 100 Canadians out of the pool? Please get out of the pool. Gotten on this dad jokes kick on YouTube. So, here's one for you. Okay, dear, this is yours. You got to come on here with me. How do you get yourself on?
Get yourself on.
Okay, so are you ready for when we get divorced? Are you ready? I was gonna go remarry my wife, but I think she'd figured out I'm only there for my money. Okay, I thought that was pretty funny myself. Okay, now back to the show.
Here's my kitchen pantry, some diced tomatoes and tuna and corn and white kidney beans and some ketchup, which we don't use hardly at all, and it was on special. I hope the lighting is going to be okay. And then some clam chowder soup back in there, and cream corn. We have a lot of that. And then up here, the saltine crackers, a few cookies in there, and pasta. And then up here, some potatoes and baking powder, baking soda. There's a Coke. I use that for pork sometimes to marinate it. And then the soy sauce, the mashed potatoes, of course, the stock and the rice, and just some Ziplocs. We basically eat a lot of the same thing. I used to cook different recipes and have to go over and get this ingredient, that ingredient, and so on. But I found that sticking to the same recipes, just having, you know, meatloaf twice a month, that kind of thing. We don't eat roast very often. Mostly chicken, fish, and that's about it. Thank you very much.
So this is the trick for Nancy, is she doesn't make her meals complicated. She eats basically the same recipes and adds something new in every now and then. Just pick your 10 recipes and do the same ones every 10 days. You won't get bored, but you can always keep the ingredients on hand, buy them on sale. Now, I am going to have Mom talk about meal planning just briefly here. But Emily says she made the seasoned salt in our Dining on a Dime Volume 1, and it is good. Yes. I mean, I use our seasoned salt. I keep it in a shaker on the stove. That's the only thing, not the only thing, but that's the one that I use 90% of the time on everything. So if you guys haven't tried our seasoned salt recipe, Michael put the link in the description below. And you can go try it out down there. All right. Show them your menu plan, Mom.
Well, she was talking, I think, saying she was needing some ideas on menu planning and that type of thing, get some stuff. What I did, and some of you have seen this before, is, of course, back in the olden days, we didn't have nice planners, you know, like this. We just had no
So
books.
this is the version. Okay, so here's the version in our planner right here that you can fill out right here in our planner in the description below. Okay, so if you have our planner, this is the page.
And so what I did back then was I had 2 little kids. I was exhausted. And when you're tired at night, or, you know, you just get tired of trying to think of what to have next, you know, tomorrow for dinner. So what I found worked for me was I wrote down, can they see this okay?
Mhm.
I wrote down a list. It says main dishes. And then I went for about week, 2 weeks. And every time we had a meal, I would take and write it down, the main dish. And I also have places for, what do I got? Meat. And I've got side salads and side dishes and desserts. Each page has something listed on it. Now, just between the meats and the main dishes, I have about, almost 60 things listed. It doesn't look like very much, does it? But I've got a lot on that page. So when I'm tired, what I do is I just go look at these simple, you know, main dishes, and then I look over and see, okay, what do I have that I could do a salad for or a side for? And I mix and match them instead of just sitting down and trying to come up with a whole menu for the evening. I just mix and match these. And it only took me about 2 weeks. If I'd go out to somebody's house for dinner, and they had something really yummy that I thought we would love to eat, I would come home and write it on the list, is how you do it. If you go to a ladies' meeting and they have a potluck and there's something good on there, come home and write it on your list. And now I did have small menus that when I'd have write down after dinner what I actually had for that evening, but they weren't totally complete. I just wrote it down, and then I can mix and match and juggle them around. And that was so easy because instead of sitting there thinking in my mind, okay, what do I have in the freezer? What can I do? What can I blah, 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 and think it out in my mind, it's so much easier just to look in here,
Yep.
you know, and do it
Okay,
that
now
way.
if you're doing this on our menus planner, how I have it here is main dishes, sides, and desserts. And so then I just have the 10 spaces for each season, and then you just write down what you want for the season. So if you have our planner, that's how you use it for that.
And we have a lot on the website too, and a lot of menus. We've got a menu ebook on there too that just lists, and they're really simple and easy.
And we've got 5 pages in Dining on a Dime of menus somewhere in here. Here it is. 5 pages of menus in Dining on a Dime also.
They're easy, budget friendly. I mean, everything about them really.
All right, now to her basement storage. So down here, she's got more of her mashed potatoes and her canned goods.
She's got it so
she's
nice.
getting a stockpile up. It sounds like she didn't used to have a stockpile at all. So I think that she is doing pretty good. The only thing, I wouldn't buy this chicken stock. I would get the little bouillon cubes instead. Takes up less space, but you know, whatever. Really, at $17 a week per person, I really can't complain.
No, she's
doing
and
really
even
good.
That's not so much for, you know, saving space more to get the bouillon cubes.
Well, it saves money. I mean, it is cheaper to use the bouillon cubes, but you know, you'd have a little bit. Just a second. Just so that if she needs the extra space for stuff, then she can put it in there. So, okay, let's see. What else does she have? And more canned goods, and they're all neat and orderly.
Yeah, you could see exactly what she has.
And I'll tell you, on Saturday's video coming up, we are doing a pantry makeover. It was a disaster to start with. My friend, I did an in-person grocery audit with my friend Lois. She was very amazing. I was super impressed. She was just going crazy. So we're going to show how to organize your pantry on Saturday without a whole lot of expense. Everybody thinks you have to spend a whole lot of money organizing. I did not. So, all right. So now her biggest problem was Sunday after church. She wanted some meals that were easy. So, you know, throw in a pot of chili, throw in baked potatoes before you go to church. Just wrap them up. Now, the way to make super delicious baked potatoes, and I think it's in volume 2, I think, is the recipe, but it's also livingonadime.com. You can go find the recipe there. Is to, the really good baked potatoes like at Texas Roadhouse. All you do is just smear it with some bacon grease and then sprinkle it with the sea salt. And then put them in the oven to bake for an hour or 2 hours. She can do 300 degrees. I don't know what that is Celsius, but 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours. And she will have the fluffiest baked potatoes she's ever eaten.
Well, another thing she could do for Sunday is like Grandma did. Everybody went over to Grandma's for a roast dinner on Sunday. It's real easy to throw roast in with potatoes and carrots, you know. And what I might do, if you think, well, I don't want to do that every Sunday, pick out 3 things like that. Maybe a roast chicken with baked potatoes. You can put all that in the oven and just turn it down really low, and it'll cook really slow while you're at church. So, that way you have a little bit of variety. But
so the next thing she could make, ham and cheese sandwiches. Those would be super cheap and quick for after church if she wanted. This one has cranberry sauce and turkey and Swiss. Oh my goodness. That would be so delicious after Thanksgiving. And I think Canadians' Thanksgiving's coming up like in a couple of weeks. So if you guys eat, I don't know. What do Canadians eat for their Thanksgiving?
I don't know either.
I never even thought about it. But if you eat
hop on there and let us know what you guys eat for
sauce and turkey. Let me know. I just assumed everybody had cranberry sauce and turkey, but maybe they eat, I don't know, maybe they eat BLTs or something. I don't know. All right. And then she could also make some ham and noodles. This is Shayla's ham and noodles from volume 1, my sister-in-law's recipe. Also, she could add for her ham and noodles, she could just put in some broccoli or other vegetables that she wants. And then she could make mini pizzas out of canned biscuits. And what she can do, you're like, well, Tara, there's 8 biscuits in there. She's not going to make 8 mini pizzas. Well, yeah, she can make them all and then put them in the refrigerator and then just toast them in the toaster oven or oven the next day and just warm them up and toast them back up again, and they would be fine. So,
and some of these things I would get as much done as I could on Saturday afternoon before, get the ham sliced or whatever needs to be done and things kind of ready as much as you can. And then when you come home, you can just slap a couple of things together. It wouldn't be too hard.
And then she could also do something like a pasta salad with hamburger or ham, either way that she wants. So any of those she could make ahead of time and cut her grocery bill. Oh, Canadians' Thanksgiving is Monday. Well, happy Thanksgiving.
Wow.
And who was it? Jessica says we eat turkey. And Bonnie says cranberry sauce and turkey, it sounds like. Well, happy Thanksgiving.
Well,
I didn't even do that on purpose. Oh my goodness. So now she can have some leftovers for her Thanksgiving. If you guys need if you Canadians need Thanksgiving leftover ideas, we have a ton of recipes, livingonadime.com.
And your turkey video.
And go check out my turkey video.
Anybody go try your...
As a matter of fact,
laugh, you need to look at her turkey video.
A&E wanted to use my turkey video in their upcoming show. I told them no, but they wanted to use it. So it must be pretty good if A&E is asking to use it.
It's so funny.
But if you don't know, I have Super Easy Recipes, another cooking channel. And Michael put the link in there for you, but I have tons of easy recipes on there. And Lois, who's we're featuring on Saturday's video.
Hi, Lois.
And she is on here. Thank you, Lois, for joining us. Super easy recipes. So that they can find those. So what do I think for Nancy? I think she's doing pretty darn tootin' good, if you ask me.
She just...
I was looking at this, and Mom and I were looking at it yesterday, and I'm like,
and we were
I don't know what
our mouths dropped open. It's like some of you guys are just right up there with amazing. But I
mean, she's proven that you can do it.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps saying there's no way you can do this. And in Canada.
I was thinking, I was just going to say that.
Stop your whining.
We have had so many people that have had success like this in other countries. So
Yeah.
what you're doing when you say, well, I can't do it where I live, or the prices are too hard what you're doing is you're making an excuse. And how many times do we say an excuse is just keeping you from actually stepping out and doing it? You know, that's all it is. And Nancy and a couple of others, a lot of others of ours, people that have watched us for years, they actually just stepped up to the plate and said, I'm just going to do it. You know, I may have to give up a few things. We may have to be careful. And
for you Canadians, use our turkey recipe, Dining on a Dime Cookbook. Don't make it any other way. livingonadime.com. The recipe is free.
Use that turkey.
We've got a video on livingonadime.com, or I mean, Living on a Dime on YouTube on how to make the perfect moist turkey. Do not make your turkey any other way. Follow the directions either in my cookbook if you have it, or go to livingonadime.com, type in roast turkey. Michael put the link in the description below. Only make it that way.
And if you guys have made our turkey, pop in there and let the Canadians know, you know, whether.
Well, Heather already said it's the best turkey ever.
Yeah. And I don't know if you have pecan pie and pumpkin pie. They're really good recipes too, as far as what everybody's been saying. You know.
I think we should be celebrating Canadian Thanksgiving.
Why can't we do Thanksgiving twice? I'm getting hungry here. I haven't had supper, and so it sounded too good. But.
All right, post your questions, guys. If you have questions, go ahead and post them in there. But Wanda said, what do you suggest for someone who can't lift a turkey or ham? Well, then you're going to have to get either a smaller turkey, a smaller ham, or get something like a Cornish hen or a small chicken or something like that. You can also have the butcher cut it up into smaller pieces. So maybe you could have them cut it like in half,
a small
or
one in
or
half.
Something. Yeah.
And they have only, you know, like a 10-pound. I even saw a 6-pound one time, you know, at our stores. They're starting to do smaller ones now for people like they used to. So also we'll do Bible questions too. Questions about anything, guys. So
okay. So while you guys are putting your questions in there, put them in there, and then I'm going to show you my garden, because guys, I know a lot of people are getting frost right now. So I want to show you how I harvest my tomatoes, because a lot of people don't know that you can pick all the green tomatoes. Don't let them freeze. We're having a freeze tomorrow. I'm not letting them freeze. I'm picking them all, and I'm going to save them. So this is how I do it. And my video was messed up. Oh, half the video's gone. Oh, good grief. I don't know what happened here. Hold on. Wait, nope. Okay, something happened to my video. But this isn't even the right video. Oh, my goodness gracious. I really messed that up. Okay, hold on. Let me get over here real quick. And you can see what I do is I yank up my tomatoes and I pull them over a tarp. And then I shake all the cherry tomatoes off. And then I pull it together, and you can see I'm getting them off more, and then I pull them off if they're not coming off. Now you can see I've got all these cherry tomatoes in my tarp right there. I'm putting it over the other part of my raised bed because I'm going to pull the next cherry tomato and plant and get it shaken also. But look at this mushroom I found. Can I eat this mushroom? It's still out there. Can I eat this? I don't know. Maybe I can.
Oh, don't even
look
try
at this.
it.
It's huge.
That's a weird mushroom.
Look how big that is.
Oh, my word.
I got free food.
Feed it to Michael first and see what happens.
Oh my. I was looking for the gnomes. I did not see the gnomes. Wow.
Oh,
look how huge that puppy is.
It's huge. It's
okay,
huge.
that's pretty cool. Huh. Wow. Yeah, we've had a lot of water here. Ooh, tomato. Okay, so then, oh my goodness, I found 2 more. I actually found 4 more cantaloupes. Because me and one other person can just gather the sides and then carry it into the garage. And then I let it sit for a day or so and let all the green stuff dry up. And then I shake it a little bit and all the green leaves come to the top and all the tomatoes go to the bottom. I scrape off the green leaves and then I'm good to go. Okay, so there's about half of the harvest. Whew. Okay, so that's probably going to be about 8 or 10 boxes, 1 layer flat, letting everything get green. Or I mean, everything get red, everything that's green to get red. So I am probably going to have about 25 boxes worth of tomatoes as soon as I'm done. So please buy our Dining on a Dime cookbooks, guys, so we can sell some books and I have boxes to put my tomatoes in.
Now,
So I'm going to go finish harvesting tomorrow so that they are all brought in before our freeze tomorrow. And that's the end of vegetable season for me.
we've got fried green tomatoes.
Yep.
We got fried green tomatoes in there and a
Zucchinis and
salsa,
squash.
a good
Yep.
couple of good
Mhm.
salsa recipes.
Yeah.
So if you need that for your green tomatoes
Mhm.
too, you know,
Yeah.
and I don't know if they're on the website or not.
Yes, all of those are on the
They should
website.
be on
Also,
the website. Mm-hmm.
livingonadime.com. Michael put the link in the description below. And that is pretty much about the date that we have to harvest here because we get a freeze. I was on Facebook yesterday and noticed 3 other years. I was like, I'm pulling everything for the next freeze. So, you know, at this point, even if we got another 2 weeks out of it, it's not worth the hassle. I won't get hardly any more fruit. So I'm pulling all of that today and tomorrow, and then we're ready. We're done. Do you guys know I actually don't like growing vegetables?
I know she loves flowers.
I don't like, as a matter of fact, every year I'm like, do I plant a garden or do I not plant a garden? I can grow them just fine, but I actually don't like growing them. So
it's a
anyway.
lot of work. And
Yeah.
that's why if I get something from somebody that they give me from their garden, I really let them know I appreciate it because it is a lot of work, you know, a lot of work. So
Semi-country living wants to know if I'm going to get chickens. No, they're expensive. They're ridiculously expensive. We've discovered that from our first grocery audit. I'm like, and my neighbor, I mean, it's like, there's no way that doesn't even come close to saving money.
Even too, it's kind of hard to take care of them. You know, it really is a lot. Like if you guys travel enough and things like that to have somebody here all the time taking care of them. So
yeah. Diana, did I put in garlic yet? I did not. I should go get some. I might, I don't know, if we have a couple more nice days, which we should next week, I might go ahead and put some in. But all right, Mike, can you send me the questions, please? While Mike's getting me the questions, Mom wanted to show you guys her quilt she made real quick.
Oh, I guess I can stand up and do it. I went and, well, I made this for Tara for a table runner.
Isn't this cute?
And I have them upside down on purpose because they have to do that. Is it right side up or upside down?
There. Now you can see.
Because she liked that fabric so much. So I just took some scraps.
We got it at the Dollar Tree.
And then I just finished this, and I had so many people asking me whether or not I'd been doing any quilting, and I have done a few things. And so I just finished. I hand quilt everything just because I can't afford to send it to a long armor. And I like the mushiness of hand quilting. You know, it does it much mushier. So I don't know if there's a technical word for that or what, but I haven't done this a lot before, but I like putting this panel. I did hand embroidery these birds on here. I don't know. Can I get it up close enough, Tara? And did that extra panel to stretch my fabric.
Isn't that cute? My bedroom's blue, so that's why she made that.
And the quilters will want to see the back of it. It was too long, so I went and cut the bottom row off, and I just added the bottom row then across here for the back. So yeah, I just had to show you quilters that because I love quilting. Also, 2 quick things. Whenever, if you are having trouble it's expensive to buy rotary cutter blades. And I started going to the Dollar Tree, and they have the small rotary cutter blades at the Dollar Tree. And I love those things. I went the handle doesn't work really well, but I had my my good handle from my OFLA or whatever they're called, the small blade rotary cutter handle. And I took the blade out of the Dollar Tree one and put in the nicer handle. And I have been using that for almost, what, a year and a half now. The small one, usually you have to use the big one, but I've cut 5 quilts now with that small blade. And as you can see, I use a lot of small pieces. So I do a lot of cutting, and it worked. I had the same blade and it's still cutting. I can cut through 6 to 8 layers if I need to with that little blade. And you normally can't cut that much with a little blade for the expensive. And then I had Tara, one more quick thing. I had Tara do buy the titanium blades for the big rotary cutters off of Amazon, and you can get them 10 of them for $11 compared to like $4 or more at Joann Fabrics or something. So just to give you guys quilters a tip to save a little bit of money, you know. So.
Oh, Rob from Little House Off Grid. Hello. Her tiny house. Is it tiny or little? Oh, tiny house off grid.
Tiny house.
No, or is it little house off grid? I can't remember. It's little, right? It's what? Yeah, it's Little House. It didn't sound right when it came out of my mouth for some reason. I know who you are. I've been watching it for 3 years. I know who you are. Are the trees changing yet, Rob? That's what I want to know. All right. So let me get to the questions. Rob's going to tell me if the trees are changing. Heather. Mike, let Tara know I scored a free 1-year-old fridge for the new house. Good going.
Very good.
You know, that's my biggest mistake for the kitchen remodel. I wish I would have gotten a used refrigerator off of Upcycle and just had Pistol fix whatever was wrong with it. It's still, now it's freezing everything on the top. I put lettuce on the top shelf because I didn't have space, and now it's freezing. I'm not happy about this. But oops, I just pushed the wrong thing.
Questions?
Just a second. Okay. Dine at Frugal with Danny says, yep, my grandparents-in-laws have a huge garden, so we are blessed with fresh seasonal fruit. That is great. Yeah. Produce, not fruit, produce. Ellen, she loves white sweet potatoes. I've never had white sweet potatoes. I didn't know there was such a thing.
Yeah.
That's a new thing on me. Huh. Andy, I can't give my eggs away. I don't think people understand farm eggs. I don't know what you mean by that, but if you mean the price, yeah, I'm not going to pay $5 for a dozen eggs when I can get them for 97 cents at the grocery store. And I totally understand how much work goes into it, how much the feed is and everything, but it is not worth it at all. Sorry, farmers, I know, but the nutritional value is not that much more higher.
Actually, I saw a thing, they did a big study on it.
Even worth
there's
it.
Nothing, yeah.
It's just not even worth it. So, yeah, no, people don't appreciate it, but for good reasons. So, Elizabeth says her neighbor just gave her beets, peppers, cherry tomatoes, and scallions. Very good. Yep. I'm only pulling my tomatoes and peppers. Everything else I'm going to leave because they'll be fine after the freeze. But Emily says, your hair is lovely.
Oh, thank you.
Amber says, love our site, but still trying to figure out with teenage boys who are growing faster than I can keep up with. They eat triple portions and still want more. So make sure you're making things like muffins and oatmeal cookies, not just regular chocolate chip cookies. Make sure they have like oatmeal cookies or that type of thing. Make sure they're eating fat. Make sure they put butter on their bread. The fat will help them feel fuller also. And
if they're still hungry, like after dinner or something, fill them up with popcorn, you know. Yeah. I mean, of course, give them as much as they want. But if you do stuff like popcorn and things like that, you need filler food for them and not, you know, fluff, what I call kind of fluff food that just goes right through them and doesn't fill them up.
Kathy says, can you freeze grapes? Yes. And Elizabeth says, how long do they last in the freezer? A year. I mean, I've had them for 9 months, a year in there that I just forgot about them and they were just fine. Let's see. Oh, Frugally old man says, before freezing, coat the grapes in a dusting of Kool-Aid. Oh, that would be yummy.
Oh, that would be really yummy. Yeah.
That would be really good, actually. Wow. I'm going to have to try that. Teresa, you can freeze in baggies. Nice summer treat. Yes. And her grandkids add the grapes to Kool-Aid. That's a great idea for ice cubes. Yeah.
And if you have the leftover coffee, freeze it for iced coffee in the summer, you know.
Regarding mixing beef and sausage, Charlotte says, our Kroger sells Bork, already mixed beef and pork. Okay.
Oh my.
Well, that's a new one on me.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that either.
Rochelle says, haven't seen it pre-mixed, the beef and sausage. Very interesting. Huh. Yeah, I've never mixed it. I guess I should. Well, I don't like sausage.
Yeah, she doesn't.
I don't. I'm kind of coming around a little bit. I'll eat Thanksgiving. I'll eat gluten. I'm gluten-free. So, and if you guys need gluten-free stuffing for Thanksgiving, my gluten-free, dairy-free cookbook, 25% off in the description below. I will eat my gluten-free, what's it called? Stuffing. I will eat that now. I can't eat a lot of it, but I would say I would like to eat a thing now. I wouldn't eat a whole dish of it, but I like it now. Vanessa says, hello from Australia. Hello.
Oh,
good morning.
Yeah, good morning for sure.
She loves these live chats about shopping. Very interesting. So I don't know if it was you or somebody else, but we do have an Australian that has signed up, guys, for a grocery audit. And I have so what happened was I had nobody for grocery audits. I'm like, what am I going to do for a show? I have nobody. And so then all of a sudden I had 15 people at once all turn their stuff in the same 3 days. So now I'm 2 months ahead. So if you've put your name in, don't think that I've forgotten you. I'm just waiting to get caught up first and see if this is the direction we're going to keep going. It is taking a lot of time for me to do these, way more time than I anticipated. But we are doing actually very well with them. So anyway, I'll let you know if you've already signed up but haven't gotten a notice from me when I'm ready for more. Roseanne says carrots and onions this week are on sale for 96 cents. Very good. Letitia says, I can get ground beef for the prices you recommend, Tara. I live in the Pacific Northwest, but don't buy a lot of it either. You're just not looking. You can find it. Just wait and watch for it to go on sale and then buy it when it's on sale. If you don't buy a lot of it, then you're not used to watching it for sales. But I know you can get it for the prices that I'm talking about. Regarding stockpiling in the closet, Alicia says that's where her stockpile is. Yep. And B says, yes, it's under her bed. Jill says no, she'd like to start one. Paula says no, she has a room in the basement. Stephanie says she has it in many closets. Very good. Lisa says in a spare bedroom. Very good. Jenny says my apartment's too small. Just start finding crevices in small areas. And Wanda says hers is in the kitchen and spare room. Very good.
I even in my bathroom, I put, a lot of stuff in my bathroom.
And we are organizing my friend Lois's stockpile on Saturday. That video is coming up. And I was afraid she was going to be going to the hospital.
What is with you and the audits?
It's going to be, I was afraid she's going to the hospital. So Michelle says Kroger has half gallons on sale this week for $1.25. That's pretty good. We can find it for 97 cents, but that's a good price.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's not awful. Valerie says I have some in her closet. Stockpile, very good. Amber uses ground turkey instead of sausage. I would probably do that too. Except it's more expensive here than just beef. So
you know what I'm finding? This is on the milk. A lot of people are watching the prices on milk and bread and stuff like that to try to save money on. Those are the basics, and those usually go on sale. Where a lot of people I think are having more problem with is they're buying more expensive special treat items, or not the basics, or more expensive meat, or more like shrimp and fish stuff and things like that. That's a little bit higher price. So you're concentrating on trying to get laundry detergent and bread and things like that, Hamburger on sale, but you're spending your money in the other areas, and you need to concentrate maybe more on those, or at least as much on those. So,
all right. Bounty in the Badlands says her daughter, she showed the mushroom to her daughter and she said, absolutely no. I thought I had myself dinner. Okay. I guess if I want to meet Jesus soon, I could eat that mushroom. Otherwise, I better wait. Jenny says, can you freeze lactose-free milk? Yes, you can. Mm-hmm. And Teresa says, never heard of milk in bags. How many ounces? I don't know. They're 3 liters is how they buy it. So I think it's 1 liter bags from what I understand. So Janice says she has a stockpile area under her stairs. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
She spends $25 a week for her husband and her total. Hey,
very good.
Send in your stuff. Go down to the link below and let me do a grocery audit on you. That's really good because people don't believe it can be done.
Yeah, everybody says that
I spend $100 a month. I spend $25 per person in my house a week, but we get a lot of frivolous stuff. But because I buy it on sale, it's not that expensive. And so, I mean, I could easily cut my grocery bill in half. We don't have to now. All we're doing is getting our house paid off now. But, you know, it can easily be done. South Blue River Homestead says throwing away coffee is throwing away money. Yeah, throwing away anything like that is throwing away money. I totally agree. Lisa says, my daughter kept checking Goodwill until Curie came in and got a brand new one for $5. Very good.
No,
she uses
good.
it with the reusable coffee pod. Very good. So what we want to know is, why don't you just get a coffee pot though?
Yeah, I was curious. Why are so many people buying?
What's the point of this? I told Mom, I think it's because they like to just fill it with water and they only have to fill it with water for 3 or 4 days. It'll go and then they don't have to. But that's the only reason why I think it's worth.
Yeah, I couldn't understand because I just have a small little pot that I just keep by my sink and just, you know, fill with 1 cup of coffee for in the morning. So I didn't know why.
Genevieve says it's 4 liters in 3 bags, 1.33 liters per bag for the milk. There you go. Naomi, do you have any advice for feeding an infant? Did you make your own puree food? If so, was it fresh or frozen? Yes. So go down to livingonadime.com, click on baby food. It is also in, I think, volume 1 of our Dining on a Dime cookbook. But this is not rocket science. I mean, livingonadime.com, it's the recipe is on there. What I did was I opened the can of pears or peaches or whatever, and I took my immersion blender and I stuck it in the top of the can and I zapped it until it was mush, poured it in a bowl and fed it to them.
And you can also do that with whatever you're cooking for the meal that night.
Add some broth.
Whatever you have left over or whatever you're having for the meal, just take a part of it out and just zap it for the baby. And even like with the sweet potatoes you were showing tonight, you know, she could have taken, if she had a baby, she could have taken like half of it and zapped it for the meal for the baby for that night.
For rice, just add extra water and zap it and it'll mush up the rice for you.
You can mush up a lot of stuff.
I did both breastfeeding and formula feeding with my kids. As a matter of fact, 2 of my kids were on formula that was $250 a month. And let me tell you, back then, we were only earning $9 an hour. $15. It was $15 an hour was we were earning then. So that was a good chunk of change from our bill. So I've done both. I mean, I say get it free while you can. So let's see. Also, savings tips with babies. What would you get used to and what would you get used and what would you buy new? Like 99% of everything I bought used, including, I don't care what they say, including car seats and all of that. I just could not afford anything new. So the only new things I got were gifts.
And another thing too for babies, they don't need as much as you think. You know, I didn't have a changing table. I didn't have, what are some of the other special things, you know, like a thing to put the diapers in, nothing like that, you know, and I didn't use disposable. I did use disposables for one and the other I used just cloth diapers and stuff. So you don't need all the gadgets, you know, and that type of thing.
As far as the baby food, I never bought the baby food in the jars. I would say maybe with 4 kids, I bought maybe 20 jars of baby food. And that was only for trips when we were going somewhere and I wasn't going to be able to
have access to
have
mashing it up.
refrigeration,
Yeah,
the
and
mat,
stuff.
that, and really, even at that, I still could have put it in a little container like applesauce or whatever taken, but that was mostly when I was taking like canned meats. Like, I don't even think I ever bought any canned, I don't know. Did I ever buy any jarred fruits or vegetables? Maybe I did. I can't remember. It's been 20 years.
For like road trips or something.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been 15 years since I bought the last baby food. So, all right. Do we meal prep? Well, yeah. So like we were saying, we just pre-cook some things. Like if I'm making baked potatoes, I'll just make double for the next night.
I cook up a lot of my hamburger and have it in packets in the fridge. So
no, Nancy was not able to be with us tonight. She had her church Wednesday night service. She's one of the few churches that still do that.
Yeah.
Paula says, where can you find the margarine recipe with water without buying the book? I don't know if it's on the website. Is the margarine recipe on the website, Mike?
I don't think so.
It is.
You want me to put it on there?
Michael put it on there, but it is let's see, what is it called? What
Whipped butter?
what
It's
did
under
what did
miscellaneous, I think.
I know, but I can't remember the exact. Let's see. Hold on just a second.
We
Let me see
got
if I can.
Play-Doh, we've got muffin mix, we've got
Oh,
wheat
here it is.
crackers.
So for those of you who have the book, page 415. Here's the recipe. Are you ready? Get your pencils out.
This is the dining one.
Dining volume 1. Okay. I'm waiting for you to get your pencils. Are you ready? 1 pound of butter or margarine softened and a half a cup of cold milk or evaporated milk.
And you whip it
That's
together.
it. And then you put it in there and you just zap it with the
Soften
mixer.
it. Soften the butter.
Make sure the
margarine.
butter's softened.
I think she was wondering which show did you do it in the other day?
I don't remember. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah.
So just watch all of them.
Yeah, so just go watch them all. Because you'll get tips. Listen, you guys need to be
Yeah.
watching these shows because I'm putting a lot of tips in here. I'm putting a lot in here. All right. Teresa, she made quesadillas tonight. Pepperoni with cheese is what she had
Sounds
left
good.
over.
Oh,
Very
you
good.
guys are killing me with this.
Yum. Deborah, who can afford bacon and ham? Me, because I buy it on sale. I have 40 pounds of bacon in my freezer that I got for $2 a pound just 6 months ago. I have ham for 79 cents a pound that I still have in my freezer that I got at Christmas that we're still using up. I'm using it up now because I know it's getting ready to go on sale again, so I'm getting the rest of it used. But yeah,
So
a lot
just
of people
watch it.
can.
It goes on sale.
Yeah.
And that's when you check it out and get it, is when it's on sale.
Everybody can. I mean, maybe Alaska and Hawaii, but nobody else has any excuses. Guys, that's one thing as I get it together, people moment. This is one thing these grocery audits are telling us. Even in Canada, I will give you Alaska and Hawaii, but even Canada, you can afford this stuff. We have another Canadian grocery audit coming up in a couple of weeks. Oh my goodness, she was thorough. I was like, holy cow, 4 hours worth of footage. It was maybe 2 hours, but it felt like 4 hours because I was like, I couldn't believe the prices. I was shocked. A lot of the stuff is actually cheaper in Canada than it is here.
Mm-hmm.
It is a lot cheaper. I would say 25 to 50% cheaper on some things.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. I was absolutely floored. So, and that one's going to take me a little bit to edit because I got to go in and put all the graphics.
That's
and
what I said. People like Carrie, we have a lot of people like in Ireland and England that have done our tips in these different countries, and they're doing just as successful as Nancy, tonight was doing. So
yeah,
all over the world.
Tammy, my daughter makes a whole maybe pot roast, I think, and refrigerates it. She then a whole pot of coffee, and she then makes cold coffee drinks in the morning. Very good. She's 18.
Very good.
And always
She's
looking
doing good
for ways to save. Very good. Very good. Deborah, I find I do not go out to eat. I miss on social connecting with friends. Well, have them over to eat.
Yeah, I have them over for a cup of coffee. I don't know why people don't. I was thinking this the other day. We used to just have our friends or our neighbors come over for a cup of coffee, and we would visit for an hour or two. You don't have to always go out to lunch for this stuff. You can just, invite them over to your place to visit. Or even if you don't want to to come to your house because it's a mess or whatever, go someplace where you just get coffee. You don't always have to have a full meal. And, to be honest, I think that's part of the problem why these little things like this, why there's so much obesity. We want to blame it on the fast foods again. But I know when I was working, all the gals wanted to go out to eat at lunch all the time. They wanted to go out to eat. Well, first of all, I couldn't afford it, but you eat more when you go out to eat because you spend money on it and you want to make sure you get your money's worth a lot of times when you do that. So you don't have to go out to eat to do, something like that.
Sheila says she received her volume 1 this week and she loves it. Thank you so much. It's 25% off in the description below, guys. And Lisa loves your sweater.
Oh, thank you.
It's very fallish. Michelle says she just organized her spices. She likes a lot of variety for ethnic meals. That is totally fine. Phoebe, my 3 favorite seasonings, sea salt, butter, and garlic. Yep. Bounty in the Bedlands. Jill, last time you said cut coffee and most spices to save money. If I do that, someone would get hurt around here, especially the coffee. Well, buy cheaper coffee then. Wanda says, Tara, I scored a Dining on a Dime cookbook printed in 2004 at a rummage sale recently. Very good.
Oh my goodness.
I always said I knew we would make it big time when I found one at a garage sale or thrift store. And 25 years, it took 25 years. It took 25 very long
But see,
years.
I look at it.
And we found one June, I think. I finally found one at a garage sale.
Now, see, this is how people look at things differently because I looked at it as if I see them at a garage sale, that means people aren't wanting to use them. And since we haven't found any, I thought everybody's saving and treasuring their cookbook, from us. So, see, you can look at it 2 different ways.
Okay.
You see?
But I'd say we make it big if I found one.
I don't
at
get
the
rid of
garage
my
sale.
cookbooks that I love.
That means we've sold enough.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay.
Belinda, just tuning in this Thursday morning in Australia while
Another
cooking up
Australia.
1 or 2 freezer meals for her family for the next few days. Very good.
Mm.
Katie, we made your banana bread and cinnamon honey butter from the book. They were huge hits. Yeah, the banana bread is the best.
Mm.
Could you please tell my daughter that?
I know
She keeps making all these banana bread recipes. I'm like, would you try your mother's recipe? Sorry, Ellie, I love you. She will not try the banana bread recipe. I'm like, try the banana bread recipe. It's really good. I know, Mother. All right. And Kimberly says the seasoned salt is phenomenal. Yes, it is, even if I do say so myself. Christine, she found containers of chicken stock for 40 cents, so she bought a few to have on hand.
Very good.
Teresa, a friend didn't want hers anymore. She has 14 chicken and beef stock containers. Very good.
Wow.
Christine, in the winter, I do a lot of crock pot soups, so they're ready for when we get home from church.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Roseanne, Canadian Thanksgiving is this weekend. Yep, they do Thanksgiving and turkeys. She also says she loves cranberries. She says, I love dry cranberries. Mike, can you send me the next one? I love dry cranberries and turkey for sandwiches for turkey salad. Oh, that would be good.
And this is early for American Thanksgiving, but I stock up after Thanksgiving on cranberry sauce because I like it all year round, and I like it with ham and different things. So when it goes on sale, a lot of times it'll go on sale right before Thanksgiving and after. So be sure and stock up on that stuff.
Carol says, my trouble with groceries is that I have food allergies and that's my biggest expense. Dining on a Dime, volume, gluten-free, dairy-free. I'm gluten-free. I'm dairy-free, mostly sugar-free. And I wrote this. My grocery bill has not gone up at all. We did a gal grocery audit. Let's see, was it 2 grocery audits before? They couldn't have dairy. They couldn't have sugar. They couldn't have wheat. They couldn't have eggs. They couldn't have something else. Another person couldn't have soy, couldn't have dairy. It can be done for very, very frugally. It's just an excuse. It's sorry to tell you, but it's just an excuse. So Bounty in the Badlands, we eat turkey all the time with trimmings and ham. Yeah. Yep. That is delicious.
And don't forget to save the bones and make turkey soup. Oh, you don't put anything in it but just salt and pepper. And it's the best stuff.
Yep. Trish says, is garage okay to stockpile? Actually, we are discussing this in length on Saturday's video that's coming out.
Is what good to stockpile?
Canned goods.
Oh.
Anything. You watch that video because I'm not going to tell you the answer.
Yeah.
But go watch Saturday's video. It is all about storing home canned foods, and storing your stockpile, and whether or not you're going to be making a trip to the hospital or not. So Debbie says, saving so much money using your tips. Thank you. Wanda says, I buy a lot of cookbooks secondhand, but haven't found yours yet. Aw, thanks. I think. I'm not sure.
Yes, I think.
Regarding special events, she meets her friends at the library. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
And Lisa says, I have a small entertainment budget, but if I go out with friends after church, it comes from that budget. Very good.
And another thing, when you go out, I was thinking about this today. I'll hurry. When you go out to eat, I notice with some people when they go out and they holler, they can't pay their utilities, they can't pay their house payment, yet they go out to eat and they look at the menu. And I notice the difference. They go immediately to whatever they want to eat. And it can be very expensive. They make sure they get a drink. They often order an appetizer and then they order a dessert. Where I automatically get water, I find the cheapest thing on the menu usually that I can find. A lot of times it's just an appetizer that I'll order and eat. So even when you want to go out, like on Sunday too, if you want to go out on Sunday, you can still do that once in a while, but don't overdo, just be reasonable in what you do. Go ahead and order. I can go to Wendy's whenever I want because I get the chicken sandwich for like $1.25, and that's all I order is the chicken sandwich. So I still get
fine
satisfied.
if you have the cash or save up the money.
Well, I'm talking about people
budget,
that are trying to get out of debt and say, well, I can't do this because it's too expensive all the time. But you don't need to order the big shebang every time. You can order water and get something less expensive. But people don't have it in their head. They think if they go out to eat, they have to get what they love. They're hungry. They order a whole bunch right off the bat and do that type of thing.
I mean, Mike and I go out for taco date and we split fajitas for taco date. Maybe we should start changing it to fajita date. But anyway, we split a thing of fajitas. And so we don't get the full meal for each of us. And then take the leftovers home, for goodness sake. Oh my goodness. It amazes me how many people just leave
I know
all their food, like 3/4 of the food. It's ridiculous. Oh my goodness.
Well, that's it too. Don't order so much. You could get something small, even if you can order off the senior citizen or the child's menu, if they'll let you sometimes.
Belinda, last week she made our pizza dough in volume 1. She divided it into dough balls and made one pizza for that evening and froze the other one. Very good.
Very good.
She had it with salad and carrot sticks. Yep.
Oh, yum.
Lisa's from Tennessee. She loves fried green tomatoes, volume 1, and on our website, livinganddying.com. Jennifer, she got her ham a few weeks ago for 99 cents a pound. Yep. Very good. Let's see. Everybody's loving the quilts. They think it's so beautiful and comforting colors. Yes, thank you for making it. It's actually really pretty. I don't think the camera did it justice, but it's really, you should have it at the quilt thing.
Yeah, right.
Have it hanging up there. What's the growing season out there? 3 months? Feels like it. It's actually, you can stretch it to 5. It's really June, July, August, September, and the first week of October. So 4 months and 1 week. But next year I'm going to be putting plastic over my raised bed so I can get another month out of that. And so, yeah, so you can stretch it to 5 if you want to. Everybody's saying I shouldn't eat the mushrooms. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, don't worry, guys. I'm not going to go eat the mushroom. I just didn't know if it was edible, then I'd save myself some money. But if it's not edible, then I won't. And no, I wouldn't eat it without knowing for sure. Are we ready for winter? No. Last winter was pretty brutal, and we feel like we just barely got over it last year. Last winter, our first freeze is coming tomorrow, and somebody said, "Is it cold in here?" Yeah, it's probably about 62 degrees.
I had 3 layers on, including a heavy fleece sweatshirt.
Our house today, I took a picture so people can see. I refuse refused to turn the heat on
I did
until
too
November
today.
1st.
I thought I can't. I was so cold. My feet were freezing. I kept putting socks and shoes on, trying to warm up. And I thought, I'm not going to turn this heat on today.
So it was 64 in our house today.
But we're not imposing it on Jill. She doesn't live in our house.
Yes, mom's doing that of her own
Oh,
choice.
yeah.
I'm doing it because I'm saving money for other stuff that I want to pay for. So, but
It was just the idea. I don't want to turn the
Yes.
heat on the first week of
Yeah.
October.
no. How's the kitchen remodel? It's done. We got done about 3 months ago. So you can go see that video if you want. Just go back. Let's see. I think it was in June. Just go back a few videos. Oh, Tina says this is hands down the best channel on YouTube. I wish you would let more people know, please. We would love it if more people would know. But interestingly enough, somebody commented they tried to share our channel and Facebook wouldn't let them share it because we asked them to subscribe and share and give us a thumbs up.
Oh my goodness.
So they're being dorks again. Big
Mhm.
surprise. But thank you, Tina. Please
Mhm.
share it with everyone if you don't mind. Heather says she's going to save all that info for the
Rotary cutters.
the cutters.
Uh-huh.
Michelle, did you guys have a skincare routine? Yes, we have a couple of videos on that also.
Go on to our channel and type in the videos in the search bar, just type in like skincare
Yeah.
or makeup or whatever your subject you're wanting, and you can find it pretty fast that way.
Michelle, have you guys tried hardcore carnivore black seasoning? It's amazing. I have not, but I would love to try it. I'll go see if I can find a recipe. I don't know. That sounds good though. Lena, come to New Hampshire and be a leaf peeper. Oh man.
Oh, she wants
Oh.
to so bad.
I'm not kidding. I was
She
this
would-
close. So I was this close to just getting in the car and driving to Vermont and just sleeping in the car. Because that's the only thing I've ever wanted to do in my life was see the leaves change in, not necessarily just Vermont, but in the Northeast, you know, where they have hills of trees. We don't have
Mhm.
hills of trees like that. And so that's the only thing I've ever wanted to see.
We don't even have a
So-
tree in Kansas.
I
We
was
don't have trees.
Gonna get in the car and go until I found out it's a 30-hour drive. And I was like, wait a minute, it would take me a week to get there and back alone. So is it worth 6 days driving for 1 or 2 days to see leaves? Probably not. So as Dave likes to say, my disappointment is immeasurable and my day was ruined. My life was ruined after that. Kimberly says, my mom always gave us fruit for dessert, Jell-O or fruit. Very
Mhm.
good. Roseanne says, yes, the temperature is dropping drastically. Yes, we're supposed to have our first freeze tomorrow night. So I don't know if I'll have anything left. We'll see. I'm going to try and tarp my flowers. They're still looking
Oh,
really
I
good.
wish you guys could see these flowers.
They're still
Oh,
looking
my
really. As a
word.
matter of fact, a lady came. I bought some stuff on Facebook. How did she put it, Mike? She bought something off Facebook Marketplace, and so she came up and what did she say? Do you remember?
What did you keep this morning?
Yeah. What? How did she say that? I can't remember.
I don't know, something. She was super.
I got you on camera.
Oh, my mic isn't going to be on.
Oh, your mic's not on. Oh, okay.
I don't know. She just said something about how amazing the gardens were, but I can't remember exactly how it was she said it. But
yeah,
she was
I
very
remember.
impressed.
Yeah, you should see the zinnias are taller than I am. Can you imagine zinnias that are taller than me? It's just masses and masses of petunias, and I can't even describe it.
And I only paid like probably 50. I didn't even pay anything for it because I sold my other flowers.
You did, so she
So I
covered
didn't
it, so
actually
yeah.
even pay anything for it. So, but I paid like $1 when they got getting rid of their dead plants. I paid like $1 for 12 6-packs or something like that. What is a good price for Hamburger? Oh, $2.49 to $2.79 is a good stock up price now. Let's see. Teresa, Mary Ellen says she put black fabric down in her garden, a weed blocker. Yes, it can help, but places like Wyoming and Colorado, I have used it in Colorado, but it didn't really work very well because the wind blows so bad. It just blows the dirt in and it blows the seeds, and then the seeds just grow on top of the weed blocker. We were debating doing this at Mom's house, and Mike and Mom were like, let's just put down weed blocker. I'm like, I know, but it's just going to blow in dirt, and the birds are still going to be pooping all the seeds in there. So it's not going to.
You didn't want to show my garden, did you? I got 2 potatoes.
Your garden is a disgrace, Mother. I'm sorry.
I just threw my compost stuff in my compost and I got 2 potatoes. Real live big potatoes. So I didn't even work at it.
Good job. Good job.
Tara got me a sign that says, I tried, but they died.
Yes.
And I put that in my one flower pot that I had because aphids got to them and just destroyed them. So.
Yeah. Lori says she made grandma's maple syrup today for the first time. She added a tiny bit of butter flavoring and it was so good. Got a thumbs up from the kids. Yeah.
With the butter flavoring, that would be really good. Yeah.
Francis Sign said 2 bags of mandarin oranges for $6, but when she got to the cashier, it was only $5 for 2 bags. Very good.
Wow.
Good. Mama Bear, if I would just have a menu plan for my grocery stock, I would be set. It's just overwhelming for me. So just write down 5 menus. You can do 5.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you can't do 5. You can
just
do
start
5.
with a main dish. If you don't have to write a whole lot, just write a main dish.
It would literally take you 5 minutes.
Look I've got right here written, I've got stew, tacos, pizza, spaghetti, cream of tuna on toast, chicken noodle soup, beef and noodles. See how fast that was? And it would come to just if you got our cookbook or get a cookbook out and just start paging through the main dishes in there, and it'll go really faster than you realize.
Rochelle says,
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Look on our website. What did I do? 2 years or something like that, where I every week put a menu plan with everything. There's like 4 or 5 things listed on that menu for you to have. Just go to the website and you can look up those menus. And we got the menu ebook too. That's not too expensive.
Rochelle said, well, okay, so let me ask you guys this. Would you be interested in a membership site where we had the menus planned out with the shopping list? I'm curious how many people would be interested in this. Type 1 if you would be interested in being in a membership site where we have the menus with the shopping lists all planned out, or type 2 if you wouldn't. I'm curious to see because we had
we get this question a lot.
Yeah, we get this question a lot that people would like to do that. So it'd be like $5 or $10 a month. And we would put out a weekly menu with the shopping list. But I'm curious, type 1 if you would be interested, type 2 if nope, you're too much of a tight one. Yes. 2, no.
It's probably split.
Wanda wants to know, do heirloom tomatoes taste better than regular ones? It just depends on the tomato you get. 1. Yeah, it's about split. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I thought
Paula says our cookbooks are priceless.
Oh,
thank you. Thanks. She says, yes, they're expensive, but you will pay that they will use it. You will use it every day. Yes, you will. And here's the thing, guys. This is 600 pages. This is not a small book. Mm-hmm. And I guarantee you, you will earn your money, get your money back.
It's just not recipes in there. We've got homemade toiletries, homemade cleaning products. We have, how to clean some things like that. So kids stuff, all kinds of kids things. We've got a lot in there.
Rochelle says, I didn't realize how many times we went out to dinner until I started cooking from scratch. We have cooked from scratch since August 1st, made your French bread and turned it into garlic bread. Delicious.
Very good for doing that since August.
Super easy recipes. If you go to my other YouTube channel, Super Easy Recipes, it's in the link in the description and Michael put it. My French bread, I made the French bread. It's my number 2 video on there. So, yep. Sandra says, I am in Virginia and we have ground beef and ground pork mixed together called meatloaf mixture. Oh my goodness. I didn't know this was a thing.
I had never heard that either.
I live a sheltered life.
Yeah.
Nilly says, now they only go out on special occasions. Very good.
Very good.
Lisa, used car seats are fine unless they've been in an accident. Yes, I totally get that. Tanya, I've been learning a lot from these tips on the grocery audits. Yay.
Good.
Christine, I didn't buy any baby food at all with 3 kids. I nursed them and started eating when we could mash up table food. Yep. Louise, she had her son in 85 and she used cloth diapers and rubber pants. Yep, I did for my first 2. Yeah. The last 2, I didn't, but the first 2 I did.
I start them eating on food as soon as you can. You know, that's what I had to do on both of mine. I started them eating pretty quick because they can eat mashed potatoes, you know, and just, well, they can eat everything just if it's mashed up.
So I'm overweight now because my mom shoved food down my throat when I was a month old.
You know what her
saying.
favorite food was when she was 6 months old? Dill pickles. She loved dill pickles. She would just suck on a dill pickle all the time. I thought that was really weird for a baby to love a dill pickle.
Yes, I don't know. Lynette says when she's lost for dinner idea, she looks in the book.
We do have
And
menus
that's her
in there,
go-tos,
lots
yeah.
of menus and
Yep.
lots of recipes that are easy.
Heather says she gave her first copy to her son who just got his own place. Well, very good.
I think
Yay.
that's so cool. I've said this before, but I never thought about young men loving our cookbook, and they do. And a lot of grandmas and moms give it to their young guys, and I think it's because the recipes are like home cooking, the good stuff they like, and they're easy to make.
Yep.
And so,
all right, guys, I have another video to film. So go watch this video next. Thank you for joining us. livingonadime.com for cookbooks 25% off. Watch Saturday. It's going to be a really good video on how to organize your pantry and your stockpile. She is a stockpiler, and you will not want to miss that video. livingonadime.com.
bye-bye, guys. Love you.